Hello, brothers and sisters in music. In this episode, I want to talk about what it will take for you to be successful. And I'm actually going to share something from my personal journal. And I think what you want to do is a similar exercise. I'm literally going to read my personal entry, which is titled Why Tommy Z & Co. is Going to Succeed. When you play this film in your head of you being successful, doing your craft at world-class levels, what are the specific details responsible for this success? I actually got this notebook which has black pages and I write it white ink, and it really makes it fun. And once you write these things down, you actually have to develop a plan, and you actually have to develop a discipline, a daily discipline around doing them. Why Tommy Z & Co. will succeed. We will connect with world-class folks in high places, get their trust, help them to deliver magic. Ultimately, this is what it's all about, isn't it? In order to do high-class work, we got to get together with high-class people. We cannot be in touch with people who aren't doing remarkable work, because our work will only be as good as the work of our clients. But there is no way that you can work on commission and have a great reel without working with great people. Otherwise, your reel is going to be mediocre, because you can spend a lot of your time and a lot of your energy trying to appease people who are not even going to be able to give you great work. And the whole point is, it's probably better to spend more time chasing someone who you aspire to be working with, that is maybe a little harder to reach, maybe, than it is to spend all your time with folks who are not going to allow you to do your best work. Next point, we will do difficult things. We will outwork the hardest working folks in our business. All of our competition will be outworked by a daily disciplined outreach routine. I'm not a fan of working 12-hour days and burning out and not being around for my family. No, I've noticed that a lot of the best music production companies in our space, they've already developed their connections, but they don't have a discipline that I believe is necessary in order to become world class. And those things that most companies don't do, like disciplined outreach, we will be better than them at that, because we already got the music down, we got the talent down. Now, the difference is, can we actually have a disciplined, ritualized, routine, habitualized approach to reaching out to people? I wrote in big letters, focus on making friends. Because when you think of outreach and you're a creative person, instantly you get heart palpitations. You're like, I don't want to sell. It's not selling. It's making a connection with a potential friend, a potential collaborator. Besides, you want your best clients to also be your friends. This is how the creative industry works. We're not selling vacuum cleaners. We're not selling real estate. Next point, we hold to our family values. That is the difference. We do not work with people we don't like or haven't met. In our business, sometimes I see some people who are desperate. They're gonna be willing to work with anybody, but that often leads to a kind of a dissatisfaction, a vague sense that you're not having the fun that you could be having. It's because you wanted to work at all costs, and perhaps you ended up working with people who don't align with your frequency, with your values. I know a little secret. It's not the best secret. We only live once. So I don't want to spend all my time and energy trying to please people who are not going to be at my funeral. I want to collaborate with the kind of people who are likely to be at my funeral. And I believe this will produce for better work. And even if we're doing client work that neither of us is happy with, at least I still get to work with someone that I like. You certainly don't want to spend your time reading other people's energy, trying to figure out what they mean. I just want to be in the room with people who can get vulnerable, who can say, I don't know. What do you think? And I believe this produces for best work. And that's why I believe that you want to align the kind of people that you reach out to, your potential clients, with your family values, with who you are. Next point, not just projects, but people. And we say this all the time in our masterclass. Don't focus on getting the project, focus on getting the person. Because once you win the person in our industry, once they become a close contact of yours, maybe even a friend, then the projects just come. You cannot wrestle, force, a project out of a person anyway in the creative industry. The way you get people to want to give you a project is to be a person that other people want to be around. And you see how all this comes together now? And if you're on the same frequency as far as your values and your sensibility, it's not a far stretch for them to say, hey, let's do some work together, right? Next point, not just projects, not just people, properties. What do I mean by this? That we not only chase commissioned projects that are being done by others and who others will pay us for to help them with, but we're also creating our own assets that will attract clients for the music production company and students for our academy. This, what I'm doing right now, is an asset. Once I record this thing, it's just like a song. It's just like a single. It's out there. It's being broadcast. It's multiplying me on various screens, and I'm delivering my message. I am moving you with my words. Now, folks, in the age where every tool for media production has been democratized, there is no barrier anymore. You have a phone, you have a laptop, you have a camera, you have a microphone. You can create assets, broadcast properties. Don't just chase other people's projects, but as one very wise photographer once told me, build your own world and create a gravitational pull toward that world. And this is what we're doing. We're no longer just creating projects and commercials and music for other people. We are now creating our own property, our own academy, our own videos, just like this. It might seem like nothing in the short run, but believe me, folks, it really adds up in the long run when you create assets, audiovisual assets of telling your story, of writing your songs, you publish them, and they're doing their magic out there. You just never know which one of these properties that you set up someone is going to visit one day and say, hey, I really found your song irresistible. Can you write me something like it? We devote 3 hours to sales and prospecting daily. This is minimum. There is no part-time. This is the big leagues. Do you want to play or do you want to watch? This is not some part-time hobby stuff. You want to have projects? You will have to devote 3 hours to building relationships. Now, in the old school, we would literally spend half the day meeting with our clients. Things have changed a little bit, so you could devote some of that time to actually building those assets, just like I spoke about, so that you could multiply yourself, you could broadcast yourself to the whole world while you're not literally reaching out to people. Setting aside a sizable portion of your day in order to spread, to showcase your work to other people is an absolute requirement if you want to turn pro in our business. We delight, we surprise, we move our prospects, clients, students at every step of our interaction together. Is it remarkable? Notice this word remarkable. Is it worth remarking about? So when people join our academy, I send them a personal email. Every single person that signs up for our academy, they get an email from me and I ask them about their story. I want to know who you are as a human being when you step into our academy. I want to follow your progress. Every person in our academy, when they send us homework, they get a live video of us going through the homework and literally like looking at it, reviewing it, and giving you the best thinking that we have on the subject. Everyone in our academy that gets this email for the first time, they expect bullet points. Instead, they get a video. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes 10, sometimes it's 15. I've done 20-minute videos going through a person's website or going through their homework. This is the kind of stuff that makes a difference between just some masterclass that leaves you on your own and somebody like us who cares about each and every single musician that steps through our academy. So we get those emails like, oh wow, I didn't expect this video. You won't believe how this made me feel. I know how it made you feel because I remember the first time someone did that to me. Now it's the same thing for your clients. Anyone can deliver a link with some files. What are you doing that is going to be special so that the client, the person you're collaborating with, is going to remark to someone else, you know, I just worked with this freelance composer. Not only did they send me what I asked for, but the way they sent it and the thing they added to that delivery and the thing they did afterwards, I just couldn't believe it. Like, who does that nowadays? That's the kind of service level that you want to provide for your clients. 2 more things very quickly. We succeed because we focus on doing the things that matter, not screwing around, not doodling and dabbling, thinking that we're getting the work done, not mixing the hi-hat, instead working on the hook, working on the things that move the needle. The difficult things done daily in a disciplined way, facing a deliberate direction. That is the best way that I can put what an effective day sounds like. That sounds like a pro. That sounds like someone who's intentionally moving in a deliberate direction and only doing the things that move the needle. And that doesn't sound like most of the musicians out there who are bumbling, doodling, dabbling, thinking that tweaking the hi-hat for 3 hours is going to make a movement in your music career. It's not going to. You have to stop lying to yourself. One of the reasons why pros are pros is because they're brutally honest with themselves. You're absolutely going to need that if you're going to make any real progress. And the last thing, we never get comfortable. Even during project time, we still do 3 hours of outreach daily. So one thing that happens if you're talented and you're actually tenacious and you get out there and you look for connections with folks who are doing world-class things, and they invite you into their circle and you start working on something very important, the temptation is, now I got the project, I want to spend all my time getting it right. And that's not bad thinking, but what's going to happen is that while you're busy filling all your time with making sure that the project is delivered great, you're not actually fostering connections during that time. So what happens is a lot of craftspeople in our business go through this feast and famine cycle because you spend all your time outreaching when nothing is happening. And of course, good fruits must follow from reaching out to folks. So you get projects, then you get swamped with projects, and all you do is do those projects and you stop contacting people. And when those projects end, guess what? Crickets. Nothing is happening because you haven't been filling your pipeline, you haven't been making new connections. And so the way to really step it up and to go from average craftsperson in our business to extraordinary craftsperson in our business is to never allow a day go by without making connections. I don't care if you spend 12 hours on a project. Don't be ridiculous. Don't set a goal to reach out to 20 people after you're tired of working all day on the project, but never let the day go by unless you contact at least one person. All right, folks, I hope that you enjoyed some of these insights from my very own personal journal where I documented why I think we will be successful. And I think if we do the things that I just spoke about, and I think if you do the things that I just spoke about, there is no reason why you shouldn't be successful. This is exactly what you would expect remarkable musical craftspeople to do. And if you do those things, I think you will see success. And if you enjoyed this video, I think you should watch this one next.